Hello everyone and welcome to This Calls for Confetti's YouTube channel. This is Dawn Polly and I'm so glad you could join me. It's time to start getting into the Halloween spirit and I have some awesome products to share with you. Today I'm using the Ghostly Greeting die set. This die set is pretty awesome. You get 3 different size ghosts along with their shadows, and you're going to get the Boo Sentiment along with 2 shadows. I'm going to pair it up with the Forest Landscape die. I just love this die set. I find any excuse to use it. I thought I would make a spooky Halloween background for my ghosts to fly around in with it. So let's get started. The first thing I did was die cut all of my pieces. I did some of the ghosts from white cardstock and their shadows from black cardstock. I did a bunch of black and white trees and a black grass border. I die cut the Boo Sentiment from black cardstock and the shadow from white cardstock. And now I'm cutting out a circle for the moon from some white cardstock. I'm cutting it with scissors because I couldn't find my circle dies and this was just as easy to do. Now I'm going to make my background for the card. I'm using my Distress Oxide Faded Jeans and I'm going to cover the entire paper with it. I do start on my scrap paper so I don't get a lot of the dark spots on my background, but for this particular kind of background, it really doesn't matter. It actually will add character to the background. And next I'm going to bring in some Distress Oxide Chip Sapphire, and I'm basically just rubbing it over the top of the faded jean color. It's a slightly darker, and you can put as much or as little as you want, and just remember that it will lighten up a little bit after it dries, so don't be afraid to add a lot if you want to, and it'll just kind of like add to the dramatic look of the card. And now I'm adding some Distress Oxide Black Soot. This is what really gives it a more spooky look. Again, put as much or as little as you want. It will definitely lighten up after it dries. I do tend to focus a lot on the edges of the card. I'm inking up the moon with some Distress Oxide Fossilized Amber, and I'm kind of leaving the middle of the moon a little bit whiter. And then I'm going to bring in the Distress Oxide Black Soot again and just put a little bit around the edges of the moon. And that's going to complete my background for this card. I'm going to start to assemble the card. The first thing I'm going to do is put the black shadow behind all of my ghosts. I originally die cut different size ghosts because I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I ended up using all the same size ghosts, so I just die cut 3 of them. I adhere the Boo Sentiment onto the white shadow, and I only used one of the shadows, not both of them. For the trees, I'm putting a white tree behind some of the black ones to make like a silhouette. And then for the taller trees, I'm just going to leave them black with no silhouette. Okay, now that I have everything laid out where I want them to go, I'm going to adhere everything to the front of the card. I adhere my moon and one of the ghosts down first, and then I'm going to be laying all of my taller trees down onto the background. I adhere the other ghost and trees onto the card, and then I adhere one of the trees over the top of the other ghost. I adhere my grass border down to cover all of the bottom of the trees. And then finally, I adhere the last ghost onto the front of the card, and then I adhere the sentiment over the ghost. I decided to trim the card front down a little bit just so that it leaves a white border, and then I adhered it onto an 8-2 sized white card base. And to finish off the card, I decided to add some clear wink of Stella onto all the ghosts just to give them a little bit of an extra shine. You don't need to do this if you don't want to, but I thought it gave the card that little added extra something. If you want to make it easier, you can add the wink of Stella before you assemble the card. I did it at the end just because that's when I thought to add it to the card. And that's going to complete my card for today. I want to thank you for joining me on the This Calls for Confetti's YouTube channel. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the card. And be sure to subscribe to This Calls for Confetti's YouTube channel and hit the bell so you get notifications on when the new content is added. And don't forget to subscribe to their other social media platforms and check out their website for all their new releases. I want to thank you for stopping by and spending your time with me. Have yourself a wonderful day.